to pull up the safe. I need to let all these no, they none of the safe. I go to dinner and steak, only the real can relate. I used to live in the peace, now it's the crib with the day. Only got charms, the life was the place. Hard to let these know, just in case these forgot. I just wanna check the mail, another check from all the shots. You can for me if you wanted to. These expensive.
What's up, people? Come on in. Whoever's up, whoever's out, whoever's free on this Monday. What's up, what's up? I don't know how long I'm going to do this because I'm doing this off my phone in the car. So I don't know how much charge I got. Yeah, I'm ready, Milk Crate. I'm ready to get cracking on this shit. I'm ready to get cracking on this closer examination of Brother Polight and his status and or child support corrections. Just a closer look. We want to know what's actually up with that, because all we've actually seen is just him talking about it. No actual, footage or success stories. And that's something that we brought up a lot here on Shame TV East Watch. Success stories. There's never a lot of those things. There's never, when we dealing with this guy, there's never any success stories on any of his business or products. But this status correction is something that I love to talk about because it's a hot topic when it comes to all conscious communities, all groups and shit like that. Everybody is concerned about that. Everybody's concerned about that. What up, what's going on? We want to talk a closer look into this status correction stuff, guys. I put a video up a few days ago. And nah, you ain't late. I just started, D. I just started. I told everybody I don't know how long it's going to be, though, because I'm doing it off my phone and I ain't charged my phone. I was just in the car. Oh, shit. I was just in the car fucking around. So, and I was like, man, I've been thinking about this for the last couple of days. I was like, after I put the video up, I was like, you know what, man? Nobody really dives into this nigga's status correction bullshit. You know what I'm saying? Like, nobody actually really talks about this shit and really has anything to say about the shit. For real. This shit is crazy. All this centers around people actually going to jail, and it's people, like, I know people personally who are using this shit, who are using this UCC shit, who are going to court and saying that bullshit and getting thrown into fucking psycho wards and all, even though they don't stay, but they're taking them there. Like, that's what they're doing. They're using that to discredit them. And a lot of that shit is for good reason. A lot of that shit is for good fucking reason, man. Like, if they were gonna provide any facts and evidence, then that shit would make sense. I think that I don't want his books. Pharaoh even showed whatever that shit that he sells as a book that doesn't even have an index, that has nothing. Like, yo, this nigga, that's why he does that shit, yo, because it was big money into that status correction shit. A lot of people are into that shit. A lot of people who are coming into, like, they don't like the government and they don't like this and they don't like that, they're into that status correction shit, yo. Like, they big time into that status correction shit because it's the very first thing that you go into once you come into this stuff. You run into a bunch of, hey, you know that the law, they really this and it's really that, and you really know that they're a corporation. And the funny part about all this stuff, guys, I always say, a lot of it is true because they are just corporations. Like, I remember one time I was talking with this dude from Connecticut, and I was like, yo, I had a book at the time. I was like, you could see it. It was a book about some politician, and it had the city of New Haven, Connecticut, listed as a federal corporation, as a business. It was listed up there with some other telecom corporation and all that shit like that, and it was listed with it. So I know that that shit is true. I know that those things are accurate. I know that those things are not bullshit to say that let's say the city of Chicago is not a fucking, it's a corporation. It's a business ran by businessmen who do not want you to know that it is a business that they run. So like, I understand all of that. Still, that has nothing to do with proving any of that UCC bullshit when you go to court, yo. That's all I'm saying. And so I want to talk about this individual because we already know about the scams. We already know about all of that shit. But we're going to actually address his status correction because I played a clip of it the other day on the video that I did showing that Brother Polite is full of shit when he talks about correcting people's status because he hasn't even corrected his status. The whole point of status correction, the same thing with Malachi York's son, the same thing with Malachi York's son, Prince York, the same thing with anybody who uses that shit and stands on that shit. Do y'all remember that video that came out like maybe 5-6 years ago? It could have been longer now. You know what I'm saying? It was about these two Moors. If you went to YouTube, it was a joint called Moors in Court. So anyway, the video is powerful video about the two brothers. I think they're from New Jersey, and they were in there battling with the judge, going back and forth, doing their thing. So anyway, the whole point of all of that is you never seen the end result, and the end result is them niggas went to fucking penitentiary. That's the end result of that shit. More than likely, I'm not speaking with definity because I don't know, but the word that I got from being online was that they had got locked up, whatever. Everybody that I see uses that shit, yo, you go to jail or you generally get locked up. It doesn't matter what you say or how you try to say that shit. And it was proof in the pudding when we seen Polite get arrested that night. When we seen him get arrested that night, and the very first thing he did was to go get a lawyer. Now, I know for a motherfucking fact, that's UCC 101. That's rule number 1. When accosted and or arrested by the police, the last thing you do is go get a fucking lawyer. Sorry about that. Anyway, but yeah, the shit is crazy because they showed proof positive in both Prince York and both Polite in those two videos, and Prince York confessing that he was arrested. So that's basically video footage of it because you're telling everybody that you got arrested. So the point I'm making is this. That status correction shit did nothing for you, and I tell people all the time that UCC shit does nothing for you. These people rule by violence, yo. I don't care what you look, how you want to put it, is do what I say or else. And if you say that to another supposed free person, you're violently dominating them. Because if they don't do it, what you want them to do, then you'll violently dominate them, which means you're oppressing them. That's called tyranny. So we've just been used to it being called life or a way of life or the system or whatever the fuck you want to call it. So I understand people want to get this yoke off of them. I understand people want to get from under this bullshit. But at the same time, you have to realize, man, going about it that way, that shit is just a scam, man. I can't say it any other way because there's no evidence of such. If there was evidence, I would put it. I would be the very first person to put it. If there was evidence that I could go to court and say UCC 18833 says that I have the permission to take the court and do this and do that, then I would do that shit. Yeah, because they don't want you to see, they know it's a scam and they don't want you exposing the fucking scam. And the whole point is, if you had the power to take the court, if you had the power to not listen to them, if you had the power to basically live under a complete another jurisdiction, you being able to take a cell phone in the courtroom to record would be absolutely no problem. The reason that it's a problem is because they run the court. How the fuck you going to take the court back and it's their fucking court? That shit don't make sense. How you gonna take the court back and you can't even bring a fucking cell phone in? And if you try to bring it in, they'll accost you and slam you. If you try to bring something simple as your phone in with you in a place where the government says you can't bring that phone, them motherfuckers are gonna violently control you to make you not bring that fucking phone in. That's just how it is. So I don't understand how the fuck you gonna tell me you gonna use a UCC piece of paper. If I give Polite $500, he's gonna give me some paperwork that's gonna prevent the police from stopping me from bringing a cell phone in a courtroom that they say I can't bring it in. There's no fucking way that that's gonna happen. If the police walk up on me and just feel like bothering me, and I start saying UCC this, UCC that, UCC this, that, and the third, and I'm gonna sue you, and I'm gonna pull your number and see what your badge number is, and then I'm gonna pull it up on the file, and then I'm gonna file a this, that, and the third. Like, dog, none of that shit works because you would see people doing this shit all the time in real time. Most people who sue the courts and most people who sue the government go through the same legal process as fucking getting an attorney. Now, staying focused on Polite. Brother Polite got arrested coming out of a check cashing place. We all know, we all heard the story, and we all know that's what most millionaires do. Get coming out of check cashing places in the hood at 11 o'clock at night. So anyway, this celebrity millionaire named Brother Polite, who was coming out of a check cashing place at 11 o'clock in the hood, got grabbed by the police. The first thing he did was grab an attorney. If any of the things that he sold you, any of the things that he said were true, if any of those things was fucking true, if two of them were fucking true, there's no way in hell that you would have gotten grabbed by the police and not one time did you invoke your anything. You didn't say anything. You didn't tell them, hey, you don't know who I am. I'm the suit. I'm the this, that, and the third. You didn't say any of those things. The very first thing that you did was say, okay, and then got on a fucking live stream and started talking shit on a YouTube live stream. So you mean to tell me if I'm being bothered by the police, if I'm being harassed by the police, and I order a fucking a status correction, my fucking remedy, because the status correction is supposed to be remedy. Status correction is supposed to be, I don't have to worry about these things happening to me and going on with me because I'm me. Status correction and all that shit, if it was working, means I can make my own license plate because I don't have to be subject to the rules and regulations of these people. I can travel the free roadways, blah, 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 blah. I know all that shit. I know all that shit by heart. So it's like, if that's the case, why the fuck are you still getting arrested? Why the fuck did you get slammed up? And then not only did you get slammed up, you grabbed a lawyer. You did not go in there and sue them through, and what is the, shit? I keep forgetting this shit. Bringing up his bond number. Why didn't you go and sue and take a lawsuit out on his bond and get money off his bond? And why did you not do that and fucking video record and step by step show people exactly what to do when accosted by the police and grabbed up, excuse me, and hemmed up by the fucking police with your status correction? Prince York, the same thing. You are using swindle tactics and misdirection tactics to avoid and evade the police, and them niggas go outside and call your name, say Quincy, and you turn around. So that's not, if I paid Prince York for a status correction and I went through the Nuwapian way and got my status corrected through the Nuwapian way, and the police try to mess with me, a lawyer try to mess with me, any of these government agencies try to mess with me and accost me or take money from me or extract funds from me or whatever, like, I have to use misdirection tactics. I can't just say, hey, yo, I'm a Nuwapian. And you should already know what that shit means. You should already know that the Nuwapian shit means that my status is not in, the same as the regular citizens out here, so you cannot use that against me. You cannot use your laws against me. Your jurisdiction does not apply against me. Your word of law, which is jurisdiction, that's all it means. Your words of law do not apply to me. I already know he wasn't living there because Polite did the same thing that he blames us for doing. He says that we build our whole name off of him, the same way he built his whole name off of Malachi Z. York. That's why right now, Malachi Z. York and Brother Polite it's like synonyms in the conscious community. Their names are synonymous, though they don't even know each other. So he's talking about Malachi Z. York named my children. Oh, dog, he named your children through a fucking prison cell. That means there's probably other people out here who are calling themselves Nuwapians who Malachi Z. York also named their children, so that makes them special. Here we go again with I knew Dr. Ben. I knew Dr. Ben. No, I knew Dr. Ben. I worked at the nursing home that Dr. Ben was in. You worked in the nursing home. Nigga, I was the one who worked for the flower truck company who brought the flowers that somebody ordered. I seen Dr. Ben. Dr. Ben, that's what that shit is. So he just did that with Dr. York, Malachi York. You know what I'm saying? He fucking went off of that nigga's name. That's why they're synonymous now. He talked about astral projection and aliens and him being an alien and interacting with beings called aliens that came down and this, that, and the third. We heard him. You know what I'm saying? And then he goes at other people for saying the same thing. So it's like, that's what we dealing with when we deal with individuals like Polite. That's what we deal with when we deal with individuals who do this whole status correction shit anyway. It seems like they just say anything. And I'm not trying to diss the Moors because I'm down with more science. I'm down with the Moors and I'm down with anybody who claims that they're more. And I'm down with anybody who disses people who try to say the Moors was the ones who sold the Africans. And shut the fuck up. Do you know how fucking black and white, do you know how fucking Kitty and Mickey Mouse cartoon way of fucking saying that is? The Moors. First off, Moors was groups of people, individuals. Most of them motherfuckers was like little rogue princes. So everybody was their own little ruler. So it's like to sit there and act like everybody was acting on one accord. Oh, I'm a Moor. That means I'm against and I'm for enslaving this group of other black people. Like that shit is so stupid and so petty. You know what that shit reminds me of? That shit reminds me of when the Hebrew Israelite niggas be telling me that they know I'm from the seed of Jacob and I ain't no African, and you can't even tell me who your grandfather's great grandfather's mother's husband's father was. The fuck? You don't know who that person was and where they came from. So it's like all that shit is just bullshit, yo. All that shit is just motherfuckers running their mouth just to sell products. Nobody ever sees anybody in court with a UC saying, yo, I'm taking the court back, and actually do it. And actually leave the courtroom, and when they leave the fucking courtroom, they go home and there's nothing else. They don't, the court just dropped it and left it alone. Like, you would see evidence of that shit, dog. For mere fact that I'm a person who did it, for a person who actually lived this and actually walked this walk. This is the things that you guys, that he can't pull wool over my eyes because I've walked this walk. So for a person who's walked this walk, I'm telling you, I'm looking at this camera. I know I'm dark and it's dark in here. Yo, I'm looking at this and telling you, yo, I was in there with tons of other motherfuckers who was walking that walk in the lockup. So once they get you in there, it's like all you hear from the people on the outside is, oh man, you should have, did this. Oh man, you should have, you were supposed to file with the county clerk. And if you didn't file with listen nigga, if I'm free and you're not of my jurisdiction, you're not of my jurisdiction. Why the fuck am I required to do certain things and then I'm trapped under the jurisdiction? It doesn't make sense at all. You know what I'm saying? Either a woman is pregnant or she's not. You know what I'm saying? She's not going to be both at the same time. So either she's pregnant or she's not pregnant. Either you're sitting down or you're standing up. So if I'm not under their jurisdiction and their laws do not apply to me because I am not under their jurisdiction, then therefore I should not have to listen to anything that they fucking say. I should not have to be forced to file anything. And then if I file that, now I'm free of their jurisdiction. That makes no fucking sense. Shame TV East Watch, just a small closer look into the status correction and child support of Polite, his status corrections, his child support fixing remedy bullshit. This is just part one, guys. Give me a second, let me charge my phone and we'll dive into part two because I don't have to go to work till Wednesday.